All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome to our Hunters Investment Club brief. We got about an hour to a massive announcement by the Federal Reserve and Ben Bernanke. Wow, I just aged myself, 7 years? Ben Bernanke, Jerome Powell, man. With the expected taper that's going to come. So this is going to be a quick brief because I actually have to jump on another brief with one of my mastermind groups where we're going to kind of trade around the Fed decision. But this is why you want to be a member of the Hunters, because I'm going to be posting everything I do in the Hunters Investment Club thread. And as of me talking to you right now, it's about $15,650 worth of profit this week in trades. And I'm going to show you one that we placed about an hour and a half ago that's up $3,000. So I just paid for 5 months of access to the Hunters Investment Club in about an hour and a half. So we're going to cover all this stuff. It's going to be a quick brief because most of you should know about this. And if you don't, welcome aboard. Real quick, in my personal accounts, I'm long Amazon, AMC covered call. I'm short Tesla, and I'm short the Russell 2000. Real quick history of the investment clubs. Shameless plug, or not so shameless. Wrote a book about it. We nailed it to the day, folks. I knew exactly what was going on in Washington. I knew Donald Trump was lying to the country. Hell, you saw U.S. senators, folks. You saw 4 U.S. senators get a top secret brief, pick up the phone, get out of all their investments, also picked up the phone and told a bunch of their friends, and then went over to microphones and said, everything's fine, everything's great. You want to talk about insider trading and people who should be in jail? But they're politicians, folks. Nothing bad happens to politicians who break the law. They get book deals and CNN speaking gigs. Anyway, I didn't. I told everybody exactly what I had heard and what's going on, right? And if you had listened, we literally made millionaires here at Top Gun Options, folks. Turned little old ladies in tennis shoes into millionaires because we predicted it to the day. So what's this have to do with the investment club? Well, in Full Throttle, which half of Top Gun Options is it's called Full Throttle. We teach people how to trade equity options, right? And in a training environment, right? I didn't read a book on aerodynamics and run out to an F-18. I would have died, right? I wouldn't even been able to taxi the aircraft to take off. We went to the simulator and we, engine fire, start procedures, checklist, all sorts of stuff. And based on the fidelity of today's simulators, they're actually cutting the amount of flight time that aviators get in the fleet in half, because the simulators are so good. So we paper trade, and we do that over in Full Throttle. Well, as the COVID crash started to happen, people are like, Wiz, what are you doing? I need to know exactly what you're doing, because I was printing money, literally. And if you read the book, shameless plug, you'll see how this wasn't that hard to do, right? The so-called smart money, or I love the term professional trader. So let's be totally clear, folks. I'm not a professional trader. You know what the difference between me and a professional trader is? I manage and risk my own money. I helped run a multi-billion-dollar trading firm in Chicago. You know what professional traders do? They don't trade their own money. We had a dude who lost $4 million in a biotech stock, in a bet, right? I helped escort him to the door. But folks, when it ain't your money, well, you're not a professional trader. Exactly. Guess what the professional traders told you in January and February of 2020? Ray Dalio, the world's largest hedge fund manager, Ray Dalio in Davos, Switzerland, after Donald Trump said, I don't know what this China virus is. It's not coming here. Trust me. I trust Xi. Why are you even asking me this? I looked at the TV. I'm like, get out of the market. Buy puts on the S&P 500. Get long volatility. He's lying. Ray Dalio. Cash is trash. You need to be in this market. The world's smartest money, the professional trader, sat there down 1,000 points. Oh, I'd buy here. This is the bottom. Down 2,000 points. Oh, well, I'd nibble here. Clearly, I'd buy here. Down 3,000 points. Donald Trump. Stocks are starting to look good here. Down 3,000 points the next day. He deleted that tweet. I have a screenshot of it. Why am I rambling about this? Because after talking to my attorneys who make a lot of money from me, they're like, dude, start an invest, because I can't give individual investment advice. I don't. That's between you and your registered investment advisor, your broker dealer, somebody with alphabet soup after their name. I don't. So they're like, if you start an investment club where everybody's kind of in there and they make their own individual, I'm like, dude, that's freaking brilliant. So that's what happened. We are a self-directed, I call it investment squadron. I don't like the word club, right? My dad, I would never be a member of a club that would have me as a member, right? So an investment club is generally a group of people who pool their money to invest together. Club members study different investments, blah, blah, blah. I don't do this. We don't do this. I don't like that. I am this one. We are this one. In another type of investment club, sometimes called a self-directed investment club, members research and select investments together, but they fire their own trades. You are the pilot in command of your airplane, man. I'm going to show you my performance, personal accounts performance. Men lie, numbers don't. But it depends on whether or not you squeeze the trigger. I'm the pilot in command of my jet, my family's portfolio, not yours. You are. But I'll show you how you potentially could have done if you had taken all the trades since the hunters have been founded. Okay. So, and you've heard of investment clubs before, right? You ever watch CNBC? I think annually they have some investment contest, and they have the Beardstown ladies, right? Literally, it's you got to look it up on a map. I think it's Ohio, Beardstown, Ohio. It's like 30 ladies. They all knit together. They meet a couple times a week. They talk about stocks, and then one of them fires it, right? So they try and come to like an answer, and so they all throw money in a pot and fire through one account. I'd rather get my teeth drilled. I have no interest in doing anything like that. I love us all getting together and knitting and then doing whatever you want to do in your own airplane. So there's a ton of investment clubs out there. Tiger 21 is a really hoity-toity, ritzy investment club. Lafayette, there's college investment clubs. Hell, over at FAU, I got an invitation to go speak to their investment club. There's a ton of them, folks. So this isn't something that I just made up out of thin air. They have existed, and after doing the full throttle thing for a while, and people are like, dude, how are you nailing this COVID crash? Using my brain. What are you doing? So this is why I came up with this, right? So their investment clubs are great, and it's a great way to invest. And I'm going to show you what ours looks like and how people are doing on their own. I learned stuff from my fellow members in here. I get great trades from some of the other folks, names I would have never even heard of. I got into the psychedelic space, making a movie about it based on one of our members. I met her for dinner, and her and Mitch and Boca, and my God, man, helped change my life. So this thing's been epic. This literally has been life-changing for a lot of people. Like I said, we're the smart money, folks. Another year that TGO called a year ago, another prediction TGO called a year ago. You were right on, Wiz. Keep it coming. We are the smart money. That's exactly right, folks. I can't stand that term anymore. There's no such thing as a smart money. We're it. I've been in a room of smart money. I've been to the Hamptons. My sister runs Dune Capital. I've seen some of the people. Trust me, we're the smart money, ladies and gentlemen. These investment clubs at Top Gun Options are better than any hedge fund I know. That's a fact. And I'm going to say it again. Why? Because it's our money. The investment firm I was at in Chicago, we had like a research desk of like 22 people. Guess what? If they were wrong, did they lose money? Well, they might not have gotten a bigger bonus that year, but at the end of the day, folks, if it's not your money, your give a shit meters on not somewhat. Now, there are some firms, obviously, where your bonus is 100% of what you eat, what you kill type of thing. But still, at the end of the day, it's not their money. So everybody in these cares. We research, we give a shit because it's our money. We have people in this investment club of all experience levels and sectors, folks. We have doctors, people from big pharma, we got airline pilots, airline crews, we got lawyers, we got active military, we got retired, we got small business owners, you name it, folks. We have a ton of people in these investment clubs. We're our own hedge fund. It's awesome. And like I said, we research because we care, right? I'm telling you, man, the dude that lost $4 million in one biotech trade was like, he left, started down the street 3 days later at a different firm. When it's your money, you start caring a little bit. And that's kind of what The people who own the firm said, like, dude, what? He's, they're like, it's our money. And the look on the guy's face was kind of like, yeah, that's why I gambled $4 million. So, and it's funny because where's Chamath, the Indian dude, right? He's been on CNBC for a year and a half about SPAC this, SPAC that, everything SPAC, here and there, a SPAC. They're done. It's over with. I know Black Rifle, my buddy JT and Evan and Matt, the guys at Black Rifle who I know exceptionally well right now. I'm like, timing on the SPAC, here's what I'm getting at. Bill Ackman. I love when they use terms in front of these guys' names. Legendary investor. Really? A ton of millennial investors have gotten wiped out just in Bill Ackman's SPAC. The smart money, folks. One of the good things about this investment club is you're not trading solo. That's the worst feeling, to be sitting here at home watching CNBC, Fox Business, Bloomberg, whatever you watch, sitting here in your bunny slippers, drinking a cup of coffee going, I have no idea what I'm doing. Should I do this? No, I should. Unless you're bipolar, talking to yourself kind of sucks. So we actually red team each other. One of our investment club heavies, Goose, F-16 guy, 500-pound head. Admitting my failures in this group makes me better. Hard to do, but our group understands if you win, then you are all not taking on enough risk. I feel a level of accountability to get better and work harder when you know others might put their hard-earned money into one of your ideas, right? And you get to throw out your ideas. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this trade, guys. What do you all think? We call that a red team, right? If you're not red teaming your trades before you place them, who will do it for you? The market. I guarantee you the market would love to red team your trade and poke holes in it and show you how it's going to fail. How about you red team it through your fellow club members? Absolutely love this, right? This is a great thing to do. Why gold bugs, bond bears, and Amazon skeptics think alike? Well, this was in the Wall Street Journal about a month ago. Investors often prefer to stick their heads in the sand rather than confront the evidence in front of them. We will red team the shit out of your trade. We will poke holes in it and make it better. You might get to the point like, I'm not placing this. Or, you know what? I accept all those red team points and I'm still going to fire it. Well, at least you did your due diligence, man. Sitting at home by yourself trading sucks. I was like that. I am old enough to remember an internet that didn't exist. Before Al Gore invented the internet, I had to call USAA, my brokerage, on the phone. I remember having to get stock quotes like enter one for, I remember having to figure out how to put Ann Taylor, ANN, and AXP, two of the initial stocks I owned, entering them on the phone. I didn't have any of that, folks. I didn't have any of this. Could you imagine how good I would have done if I had what we have today? So we have two investment clubs. One, I'm not going to waste a ton of time talking about because it's for lifetime members. It ain't cheap, but I live in there 24/7. It's a GroupMe app. It's on my phone. I'll be on an airplane tomorrow putting stuff in here. All of my intel goes in there. My commentary, ask questions, funny shit, all sorts of stuff. Very expensive. And then I came up with the hunters, where people are like, dude, I don't need any of your sick commentary. I just want your opening and your closing trades and your adjustments. Well, and to be honest with you, when I have time, I throw intel in there and answer questions and shoot the shit and stuff like that. But I just want to lower the expectations because I live in the Max Afterburner and then I trade in the hunters. And there's a reason that it's less expensive, right? I mean, it's all. Mike, many thanks to Wiz for suggesting a synthetic stock on Microsoft last September, up 22 grand. Mike did a great job with that. Wiz, I started with a $2.95 subscription on March 4th and put 20 grand into my stock account. By March 9th, the 20K became 60K. So he became an annual member. This morning, it is 150K. You read someone's email that said you are a wizard. I believe Wiz is the wizard. Thank you, Bob. After that performance, you need to raise the price. These were two people that had turned into millionaires last year. Ann went from $250,000 to $2.7 million. Seth went from 300 grand to 488, then 1.1. Isn't that Awesome. Max Afterburner helps to avoid analysis paralysis and time wasting because there are very smart people interacting. So, all right, Wiz, how's the performance? Since I started the Max Afterburner and the Hunters group, here's the performance. Robert Metzger is a great American. His son's a SEAL. Great dude. He's my booger eater. He keeps track of every opening, closing, and adjustment. You ready for this? This is what, 2 weeks ago? October 16th. If you had joined them at the investment clubs on day one, which was March 13th, 2020, and executed all the trades as Matt posted them, Matt, I haven't seen the word Matt in a while, and let them expire naturally to their completion, you would have traded 1,170 times and netted a profit, you ready? $791,000 in 17 months. I'm going to let that sink in. Look at the Russell, baby. There goes the Russell. We're going to take a look at a trade. I just made you, in an hour, 5 months of a Hunter's membership, and I'll show you in a couple seconds if you had done this trade a couple hours ago. So, folks, and Robert, I think, went on vacation. He sent me an email. He was going to be out of pocket for a week or so because I emailed him last night to get an updated one. I think in the past couple weeks, this is obviously better. We've had some really great trading in the past couple weeks since October 16th. So I'm going to round up close to, if he'll allow me to round up, close to $1 million in 17 months, folks. Men lie, numbers don't. I can get you Excel sheets of every one of these trades. Or I actually don't even have to do that because you can see in the thread where they're posted. All right, so again, the Hunters, access to all of my opening, closing trades in my personal accounts live. Full throttle is training, paper trading accounts. It takes me about 10 minutes to sit down and put in a text alert and an email and put it in an email and fire it. It's not timely, but that's a training environment, right? Paper trading and all that stuff. This, in an investment club, you get all my personal trading immediately. And access to all of your other squadron mates in there as well. We'll take a look at that in a couple minutes. You'll get my intel if I got time to post it in there and answer questions live. Okay, you ready for this? This was $5,000 for 6 months, or $9,500 if you wanted to buy for a year. Since you guys are familiar, you're in the TGO La Familia. This is going to be a limited time offer here, $497 per month. Okay, this is going to go away. I'm doing this mainly because a lot of emails recently, like, dude, I'm feeling another one of these COVID crashes coming. What are you? Because I did it in chunks like this. $5,000 for. I'm a chunk guy. I'm not a month-to-month guy. I'm not half pregnant on something. I either do it or I don't. So people were like, dude, I can't swing that. Can I do a month? I'm like, all right, then I'll come up with a monthly thing, and I'm gonna hook a brother up and sister up. $497 per month. Let me give you the link to this, folks, and I'm going to show you a trade I just did an hour and a half ago, and let me know if it's worth it. So here's the link right here. It's easy. TopGunOptions.com/hunters. SDIS is Self-Directed Investment Squadron -monthly. Let me put the link in here right now. I'll answer. Yep, just give me a couple minutes. I'll answer questions in a couple minutes. Good stuff, man. $497 per month is an effing steal. Why is it an effing steal, Wiz? How about, here's my order page from today. At 10:56 this morning, I sent out a bear call spread on the Russell. In a rip your face off rally out of the Russell, I'm like, nope, it's going to implode. I checked with a dude in my group, and he's like, nope, it's a bear trap. There was a firm squeezing another firm. This was a rip right here, guy. When was that? 10:56. Let's go to the chart. Look at this. Look at the line all the way down at the bottom. It says 10:56. I nailed it. 10:56. Wiz sends posts in the Max Afterburner and the Hunters group that bear call spread. How's that doing right now, Wiz? I don't know. Good question. It's up $3,400. And it has the probability, oh, look at this, a 99.95%. Now, we'll talk about the Fed in a couple minutes because this could lose all its money. It won't. I think the market's going to implode here. Folks, one trade in potentially a half a day is going to make $50 to $100. One trade, guys. Now, let's look at the max potential loss. I trade a larger account. This is one of my personal accounts. Okay. So I'm risking $9,800 to potentially make 5. That's a nice risk to reward ratio, 1 to 0.1. Wiz, I don't want to risk 10 grand. I'd only want to risk 5. I can't tell you what to do, guys. That's the whole point of this. You do whatever you do on your side of your computer. I can't tell you what to do. I would never do that. I'm telling you what I'm doing. So here's the order ticket. What if you did half the contracts? Well, then you'd be risking $2,500 and not the 10 grand. What if you did, 15 contracts? Folks, the point is the percentage gain, right? Right now, in a couple hours, this trade is up 70%. So don't look at my dollar gains. Insert you what you could potentially be. But again, based on Robert's detailing of every trade that I placed live from the beginning of these investment clubs, you would have made, it's 2 weeks old data, but let's just stick with it, $791,000. Pretty freaking cool. And then so actually, let me just go show you what the Hunters looks like. So it's on the Top Gun site. Well, this is the administrative panel right here. So currently there are 31 members in the Hunters. This is the admin, what I look at on the backside here, because I can see all my metrics. Let me show you what it looks like on the Top Gun options page. So on the member page, you go underneath member content and you go to Hunters SDIS, Hunters Self-Directed Investment Squadron. So this is what it looks like here. And look at that. You have all of my trades, my commentary, people's commentary in here. Rick, D. John, Anthony's down here a little bit more. There's 5 people in here right now. People come and go. People, you can scroll up, all this stuff. You can ask me questions, but this is what it looks like on the TGO site. Okay, this is my admin page. Like I told you, this is where I enter all my stuff, and I can see all the metrics of how many people are in here, how many's using it. There's the weekends when people kind of tail off and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, the link's right here. Where is it? I'll put it again in the chat box. So guys, $497, $3,500 right now of profit in one trade. And if the afternoon goes, so we'll talk about managing this trade in a second, but 5190, let's just do political science math. 5190 divided by $497. I just paid, look how many, that's almost a year. This is why this rate isn't going to last long, because this stuff sells itself, guys. Now let me turn full attorney on this. I could have lost 10 grand today, and then I'd suck. I usually don't suck that often. I think our win rate is around 74%. I'm going to defer to Robert. We post all of our portfolios on the homepage, and I actually asked Robert and our techie Tim to start posting the max afterburner stuff as well. It was just the full throttle stuff. Now I'll do everything, man. I'm an open book, and like I said, these are my personal accounts. These are both 1758 and 1760 are portfolio margin accounts. There's nothing in 3381 and nothing in 33 or 3867. These are a portfolio margining account has to be married to a regular brokerage account. You can't just open a portfolio margining, so there's nothing in those. Okay, so but let me talk about why. So look at what I posted in here. I said, look at this. The Russell repair trade is up 45%, $2,200. I'm holding it, but if this is the if I only had this bear call spread, I'd close it for profit right now. I'd take the money and run. Why aren't you doing that, Wiz? Well, because yesterday I placed this bear call spread, which is underwater right now, risking 5 to make 26. I'm holding this trade. Why? Let's take a look at the rut right now. I have the 2370, 2375 bear call spread on right now. I think in 35 minutes, even though the market has been expecting Jerome Powell and this taper, once it happens, I don't think the market's going to be happy. I also don't think Jerome Powell is going to get up and say, "Hey, the supply chain issues have fixed themselves and inflation's under control." He might actually say some bad shit in about 34 minutes. And I think that's going to happen. So I'm holding this bear call spread. I feel a sell the news coming with the Fed chief. But for the folks who just did this bear call spread right here, they're looking at 67%. All the other trades, my Amazon week to date, Amazon, I'm up 9,100 bucks. I have some short calls on right now that are in the money. I'm hanging on those as well because I think Amazon's going to give some back this week. But let me just show you because men lie, numbers don't. There are all my Amazon trades week to date. Amazon, there's some AMC. Oh, look at this. I did an SPX bear call spread right here, guys. Look at these. Look at this trade right here. $1,500. This was a trade at 12.17. I closed at 3.51. Sold it for $1.20, bought it back for 20 cents. That's a dollar times 15. That was 1,500 bucks. So even with one SPX trade, what's that? That's 3 months of the hunter's service. So there you go. All of my trades on the screen, live, personal account, folks. So there you go. But I could be absolutely wrong, folks. Jerome Powell could start speaking at 1 o'clock. And the market, I'm sorry, at 2:30, I think it is technically. I think the announcement's at 2, the rate announcement, which is unched, and then I think about a half an hour later he starts talking. But look at this monster rally. Look at this. That is a rip your face off rally that probably needs to take a little bit of a break. And I think Jerome Powell might just be the catalyst to do that. Okay. Links in the chat box. Put it in there a couple times. I'll do it one more time if needed. Somebody asked earlier about the replay. If you showed up late, I'll throw it up on this page. That's a placeholder on. That's a solo Amazon brief. Obviously, I'm in the middle of the brief, so that is not the real replay. But yeah, there's the replay page if you came in late because I'm going to get going. Folks, this isn't this. Excuse me, I'm dying here. This isn't a marketing brief. I'm just showing you what I do. This is what I do, folks. Every once in a while, I just open up the doors and say, "Hey, you want to peek inside? If you like it, come on in. If you don't, have a great rest of your day." And we'll keep we'll sit here and keep making money. All right, let me answer a couple questions. I need to get going here. And would you put on an SPX trade today? Nope, I wouldn't. I put on the Russell trade today, which is what I have. So the Russell is up there already at 10.56, guys. Right there. I put on that Russell bear call spread, and this has happened. 3,800 bucks in profit so far. So the answer is no. I already have an SPX. I'm sorry, a RUT bear call spread on. I wouldn't add an SPX bear call spread right now. I'm holding what I got, but maybe in a roundabout answer to your question, Ann, is I think the SPX is going to give some back. Remember, I love watching Jerome speak. The market goes all over the place, folks, with every word that he says. Transitory, not transitory. Things are under control. Delta variant, COVID. It's going to be a heart rate monitor. But after the dude, we kind of get the gist of what his press conference says. The market will trend. It's only going to do one of two things, guys. It's either going to I love how people are like, the market is a living, breathing thing, folks. It absolutely is. The market's either going to like what he says and respond favorably or not. We're not going to just kind of hang. We've been waiting for this day since March about, this is funny. When I launched the Hunters and the Max Afterburner was when I got bullish. Remember, let me give you a little bit more of a history lesson. All the smart money. Oh, I'd buy the dip. This is the bottom. I'd nibble here. Stocks are great, said Trump. The whole way down, they told you to buy. The whole way down, I told you not to listen to them. Right around here where we went up and went down a little bit, I'll never forget, speaking of Jerome Powell, it was a Thursday morning, a weekly jobless number came out that was 6 million. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like that. What did I do? I was getting ready to get even more bearish. I'm like, we are going to implode, guys. What happened? Jerome Powell came in and dropped the biggest financial nuclear weapon I've ever seen in my life. And what did I say? Scratch that, bullish. And what happened? The market never looked back. Also, what happened on the way up? What did the smart money do on the way up, guys? The exact opposite of what I was doing. And they said what? Oh, I wouldn't, no, we're going lower. Does everybody remember this happening? Does everybody, I think I even saved a screenshot of that one on my desktop. Where is it? But yep, it's right here, guys. You ready for this? Jeffrey Gunlock, April 27th, folks, a month after I'm like done bullish. Jeffrey Gunlock, who runs a $150 billion hedge fund in Los Angeles called Double Line Capital. Jeffrey Gunlock is shorting the market, says a retest of the March lows, very plausible. There's the smart money, folks. If you had listened to Jeffrey Gunlock, you'd be broke. If you listened to me, you would have been rich. Tell me who's the professional trader and who's the smart money. I wrote a book about it. They got it wrong, folks, all the way down and all the way up. I didn't. Yes, thank you very much. I will. It's right here. Or no, I closed it. Yeah, it's. I will send you a signed copy of my book. Yeah, you know what? I will do that. How about that? I love people who I love. That's a trade, right? I love traders like you. That's good. I'll tell you what. If you become a Hunter's SDIS member today for $497, I'll send you a signed copy of COVID Crash. So I'm not even going to give you the link to buy the book. Oh, all right, a gift. I love. Yeah. Do me a favor, if it's a gift and you want it signed to somebody, just shoot me an email with their name, so I'll sign it to them. But no, I love making shit up on the fly here. If you become a Hunter's member today, I'll send you a signed copy of a book. How about that? Let me know which one though. You ain't getting both. One of either from sea level to sea level or COVID Crash. Ron just signed up. Thanks for the book. You're welcome. Dan, that's a good way to put it. Dan says smart money people are probably doing the exact opposite of what they're advising with their own money. Dan, you get a gold star, my friend. At the firm in Chicago I worked at, folks, I tell my members, this isn't a request, it's an order. You have to watch Billions on Showtime. You have to watch Axe from Axe Capital. That could not be a more realistic look at Wall Street, folks. Trading is a form of combat, guys. This is why I did great as a fighter pilot and as a trader. It's a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. Why wouldn't you use the same kind of techniques that kept me alive over Iraq in your trading? So, Dan, you're exactly right. Goldman Sachs is legendary for this. We think the market's going to implode, they tell the world, and then they go to all their clients. No, it's not. Buy with both hands. Welcome to Wall Street. Tony, are most of your trades in the Hunters Group spreads or outright puts and calls? All the above, Tony. I do. If you join, when you join, I'm going to give you my workbooks here, right? $197, man, for just for joining. Tony, in these workbooks, I detail 32 options tactics. Guess how many of those I use? About 6, maybe 7, right? So, Tony, whatever the market's showing me is the tactic that I use. There's been so on the way down, Tony, you'll read, shameless plug, in the COVID crash. In the COVID crash, there were days where I just bought puts at the open. I'm like, soon as the opening bell sounds, go in at the ask, buy S&P 500 puts with both hands. And within an hour, they're up like 50 grand. So, Tony, it just depends on the market conditions. There's been times where, especially in some of these things, where I've told people like every one of these dips was a buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, chop around, big buy the dip. So there are times when I'm like, hey, man, just buy some S&P 500 calls. So the answer is to your question, very long answer to your short question, is all the above. It just depends. I can do spreads, I can do ratio spreads, I can do iron. And remember, if the market's moving sideways as an options trader, we can do a tactic called an iron condor. That's a range bound trade. So as an options trader, folks, we can potentially make money in a couple directions, up, down, or sideways. Okay. Jennifer, good. Welcome aboard. Just shoot me an email, Wiz, WHIZ at Top Gun Options, if it's a gift, and I'll go drop these in the mail today because I have a couple other people that I have to sign books for. So if you join today, there you go. I'm gonna. That's good. I like that. I like getting worked. I love asking for the book if you join, because I should start doing that anyway. I want you to read COVID Crash, guys, even though I'm going to eat, I don't know, 20, 25 bucks to send it to you. Who cares? That's and the reviews, shameless, COVID Crash. This is, I am humbled. People who 14 ratings, man, it's a 5-star rating. These are all people who, and they're Amazon verified purchase, folks. These ain't, I don't do fake reviews like some other folks out there. Steve, when my grandchildren ask me later in life why our economy is the way it is, I will reach for my copy of COVID Crash and start reading. This is a great book. If you don't mind, Steve, I am going to steal that as a testimonial to the book, man. Thank you for your kind words, Steve. That's pretty cool. Steve. Hang on. I will grab that in a second. There's one more question. Then I got to go, guys. I have to trade this. But guess what? I love this. I'm going to be trading this, and I'm going to be dropping all the trades into the investment clubs. John, if we order today, how do we let Wiz know where to send the book? John, I will see when you order. I get your address when you order, so I should be able to see it. If I got any problems, John, as long as you use your real address, I will. As soon as you buy for $4.97, I get an alert, and I will fill it out today, man. Fly Navy, thank you, John. I love it. Valerie, is the Hunter's SDS at $4.97 in addition to or in place of Max Afterburner? Valerie, good question. Max Afterburner is over here. There are 138 members in here. This is a lifetime membership, and it costs about 10 times the Hunter's. Okay, this is I don't even want to cover Max Afterburner today. Most people they start off in the Hunters and then upgrade into Lifetime at some point. So they are two completely different investment clubs. I even hesitated to even bring up Max Afterburner in case there's confusion. This is the Hunters. 31 people in here. All of my opening and closing trades and adjustments live, and some intel if I have time and answering questions. Does that make sense? Two different services. The last Lifetime drive that we did, it was $20,000. So the $4.97 a month is probably the way to go first. Does that make sense? Wooter, hopefully I said your name right. You shipped the book to Europe. Now you're digging into my profit margin. Oh, I got it right. You know what, bro? If you join for $4.97, I will ship it to Europe. It's not vaccinated, Wooter, so I don't know if it's going to be able to get through through stuff. But yeah, if you guys are signing up and you want the free book offer, and it's what, $23, so you're making money off of this thing. I'll drop it in the mail today. I'm lying to you. I won't drop it in the mail. My wife takes care of that stuff. Actually, no, it's not true. After when the COVID Crash book came out, I did go to the post office one day because she was not happy with me. There was like 200 books. She's like, "You're going to the post office today." Going to the post office in Boca Raton, Florida, folks, is not a fun experience. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it like that. Ron, I just saw your order go through. You're in Walnut Creek, California. I will sign your book and get it in the mail today. All right, guys, I got to go. I got to get on my phone bridge and trade this. Let's see how the Russell's looking. A little bit of a turnaround in the rut. But again, men lie, numbers don't. Send out today's trade to the hunters right here, and it's down here. I would close it if you're in the hunters right now or max afterburner, and that's your only trade. I would close it. I'm keeping mine on kind of as a little bit of a hedge. It's up 3,500 bucks since we put that trade on. Okay. All right, guys, I got to go. Like I said, I'll post the replay. A couple of you came in late, I guess, because you were asking for the replay, and I'll post it on this page. Real quick, over the shoulder reminder, make sure you're listening to my podcast. Episode 7 is just details a life-changing event in my life that I'm making a movie about. We're shooting a documentary with 5 other veteran fighter pilots coming up, and we're going to release it the same day as Maverick, Top Gun 2. May 27th, we're going to release our movie called No Fallen Heroes, and then same day as Maverick. So you're welcome. I appreciate it. Good stuff. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Yep, one more time, the link right here to join the Hunters, $4.97 a month. And then maybe one day you do the lifetime membership. That would be great. But this is it's a gateway drug. It's a good way to get airborne into our investment clubs and what we do. Okay. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless and namaste. And keep an eye in about, 43 minutes for Jerome Powell's speech and see how the market's going to react. You're welcome, Scott. All right. We'll see you. God bless.